Hi, I'm Zibby Owens, and you're listening to Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. This 30-minute podcast features a new author interviewed by me every single day, 365 days a year, for about 30 minutes. I am also the publisher for Zibby Books, which publishes 12 books a year in fiction and memoir. Our books are already out now. You can check it out on zibbybooks.com. And we have a magazine called Zibby Mag, where we have lots of wonderful essays and lifestyle features. That's at zibbymag.com. We have classes at zibbyclasses.com. And I recently opened a bookstore in LA called Zibby's Bookshop at 1113 Montana Avenue at 11th Street in Santa Monica. I hope that you are able to enjoy some of our other offerings, but this here podcast is the basis of all of it and started in 2018, and no matter what I do, this is basically my favorite thing. Enjoy. Audrey Bellezza and Emily Harding are co-authors of the novel Emma on 83rd Street. Audrey is a two-time Emmy-nominated TV producer who has spent over 20 years writing, developing, and executive producing nonfiction television shows for a number of networks and streaming platforms. Audrey lives in New Jersey with her husband and two children. Emily Harding is a writer and TV producer whose work has appeared on numerous networks and websites. When not hunched over her computer working on her bad posture, she can be found losing another game of Monopoly to her husband and two kids. Welcome, Audrey and Emily. Thank you so much for coming on Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books to talk about Emma of 83rd Street.
Thank you for having us.
Can I just say the first time I read this, when I read this, not the first time, but I did not realize this was based on Emma. And then I, because I'm, I guess, a moron. But anyway, and then I read the back and was like, oh, okay, yes, that makes a lot of sense. Whether or not you catch on to that, piece of it, it is still a great book. Let me put it that way.
Yes, you don't have to have read the original. It doesn't matter. You could have read it or really not. Don't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So maybe we should back up and you can tell people what Emma of 83rd Street is about.
Yeah. Well, Emma of 83rd Street is Jane Austen's Emma, set in modern day Manhattan. And she's an Upper East Side girl who has the world figured out, if only everyone would listen to her. And her best friend, George Knightley, lives behind her, and they've grown up together. And it's really, we stayed very close to the original story of Emma. We just translated the different events and plot points to what would actually happen if those characters lived in New York City right now, which was so much fun because it's incredible how much is actually quite relevant today and was easy to kind of just put in with very little change, which I guess is why it's such a popular story still. We can still relate to it.
I don't know if you know Jenny Lee, who wrote Anna Kay and Anna Kay Forever or something.
Yes.
Yeah. You know her? I feel like that would be a really fun event, retelling Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina meets Emma in modern day. What other...
So true.
All those crossovers.
Yeah, all those crossovers. Yeah. Could be fun. You could almost do like a screening of both those movies. Like have a day where you rewatch. Double feature. Yeah. I don't know.
I love it.
Facebook watch party. I don't know. Not that you need ideas.
I love it.
And I found out the other day, there's like a whole thing of people are annoyed by all the people saying you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, I literally tell people on my podcast every day, you should do this, you should try that, and I'm like, oh no, am I actually like annoying everybody? Then I guess I should stop.
I need people telling me what to do.
We do that all the time. I feel like people are always asking us advice. I know.
Or I ask Audrey, like, tell me what I should do. I have no idea. Please.
And you give great advice too.
Yeah, you need it.
That's what friends are for. People look at you, Zibby, as a friend, so they're like, "What should I do?"
Oh,
so
okay.
There you go.
Okay, good. I'm using this as an official sanction that I can,
You're allowed to. Yes, sanction. Bring it on.
Official approval. Oh my gosh! Wait, so I heard the two of you decided to do this book together over a wine-soaked night in 2020. I didn't hear it. I just read that. Okay, so give me the real backstory. I want to hear the whole thing.
That sort of is the real backstory. It was the beginning of the pandemic, and we both were at home trying to homeschool our children, and we missed each other. We missed being at work and what everybody was going through. And so I think we were late night texting. And at this point, like Emily had sent me amazing things that she had written, books and screenplays, and I sent her some things that I had written. And then I I can't remember exactly how it went down, but it took about 4 minutes to all come together. But I do remember Emily saying, we should write something together. And I'm like, oh, well, how do you do that? And she's like, we've worked together for so long in our television careers that we sort of can read each other's minds almost. And it was really kind of like, why don't we can do it the same way we kind of develop and write and produce a television show, and let's do a breakdown and let's sort of split up the chapters. And it just sort of came together. And then we thought, what should we do? Let's do something that we both love and means something to us. And it can be almost a guideline for the stories that we want to tell, but make it modern and set it in Manhattan, a place that we have lived forever, and kind of go from there. And that's how it started. And then we just started doing it. It was kind of with no intention of anything other than writing it for each other. It wasn't like, let's write a book. It was like, let's write some fun chapters and see what happens. And then it kind of just came together, and we're like, is this good or is this not good? And then we gave it to a couple of people to read. We gave it to my mom to read, and people were like, this is really good. And we're like, oh, okay. And then it went from there.
Wow.
Yeah. The story keeps going. It's like, that was 2 years ago. Yeah. But we had no idea it was going to go get to this point. So
I think actually there was a point when we got an agent for it, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And I think we actually were saying, we're like, what if Zibby had us on her show? Like, wouldn't that be crazy?
You did not.
We were thinking like, this is pie in the sky stuff. And we're like, don't even say that. Don't even say that, because it's not going to happen. So I think everything keeps surpassing our expectations. And it's wonderful. But at the end of the day, it's still just this. I look at it and it's just this kind of gift we gave each other to get through a really rough time. And we just helped each other through these little chapters. And it was fantastic. It was really lovely. Nice.
I feel like I didn't exactly have that with a friend during COVID. not that I don't have friends. I love my friends, but I didn't have like a one person who I was helping me like get through, aside from my husband, kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. Well, it would have been nice if I had created a book. I feel like it was me in my office. I was like on podcasts all the time, but behind me it was just like family. Yeah, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is that's so nice you have that.
Well, thank you. It was needed.
It was we blame the wine.
Yes.
The wine helps.
It does.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad. I really love my friends and I have very close friends. Anyway, okay. How did it work in theory? Like, what program did you use? How did you do something together? Because I'm fascinated by how people collaborate on something so creative that comes out of your mind and your subconscious and all this stuff, and yet you do it together. So how did you make that work?
Google Docs.
Yeah, it was Google Docs. Audrey would make a chapter, send it to me, which was lovely. We'd get the, in our inbox being like, Audrey has shared with you chapter 20.
Yeah.
So we'd read each other's chapters. But then as we kept going with the revisions, you get an update with Google Docs in your inbox when someone's made a change or made a note. So you run to your computer and you look and you can see. So it was almost like text conversations we were having within the documents about what we were doing. And I think, and we've said this before, because we were in TV and it's really cutthroat and there is no ego. You can't have an ego because it is destroyed and shredded quickly. We were able to say, hey, I don't think that's working, or we might need to lose this. And it was never personal. It was always this very professional. We almost got into TV mode of all right, this needs to be cut. We need something here. And so that was very helpful in the whole process as well. That was all done via Google Docs. And
we also learned on Google Docs that there's a limit to the amount of notes you can put. Because we had a 400-page book. And sometimes you would just start writing. Hey, did you pick up your kid from school? Oh, did you hit
in the Google Doc?
Oh, yeah, we'd be texting.
Yes, we'd just start writing things. And then we'd be like, doesn't this remind you of this time when we were in the city? And I thought it was unlimited. So you just write. We were literally writing these text conversations back and forth. We didn't think this was going anywhere. We really were just kind of doing this for ourselves.
Yeah. And you got that alert and you're like, you've reached your comment limit. And I'm like, you can have a comment limit?
Oh my God.
So you have to
I was like, we have a comment limit. What do we do now? And so we had to move the whole document to a new one.
It happened 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Did you know you can also run out of iCloud storage space and that there's a limit at which they will not let you buy more? Because I got there.
They won't let you buy more?
Oh no. You have to create a new persona.
You can't even buy it. They won't even take my money
to
give me more storage space. You only get like 2 terabytes or something. And I have like, millions of pictures and all of that I have up there in the cloud. And
yeah,
I know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's like a new
Good
thing
to
for me to
know.
worry about because I am getting close.
Yeah. You have to, but actually then this is so off topic.
Yeah.
But anyway, then my kids showed that you can
Tangents are
delete
good.
all the screenshots. Like I take screenshots all the time, but I don't really need them more than like 2 seconds or whatever. So there's a thing that you can just delete all your screenshots. So then I deleted like 50,000 photos in like a minute, and then I had more storage. Anyway, delete your screenshots. That's my user tip.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know you could do that either.
Delete half the stuff on my computer. My husband's always like, this thing, how is it even functioning? You have everything open. You have a billion emails and text things, like delete. Like I can't.
I know. Me too. I always have like 500 tabs open. I'm like,
500 tabs.
500
and my
tabs
son's
open.
like, he's like, you have to close those. And I'm like,
Totally.
It's okay. It's still working.
But there's no thing that says close all tabs. It's so annoying. Why don't
what if
they
I
have
need
that?
a tab? What if I need a tab?
You never know. You could need to come back to it in 3 weeks.
What if I need to get that Zara cart going with my clothes?
That's right. That's right. I know. The article I meant to read like 6 weeks ago.
Yes.
Still open. I'm going to get back there. I am. I'll get back there at some point. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Wait, so tell me about both of your TV careers and all of your careers in writing in general and like creativity, and just like take me back. Where did you both grow up, and like just like how'd we get here? Give me the backstory.
Okay. So I grew up in New Jersey and, I guess came to New York a lot, but it's not the same as being a New Yorker. But anyway, so I grew up in New Jersey. I know. And, just kind of my mom's a writer. And so I kind of grew up with books and, and in high school kind of went to a girls' school and just sort of fell in love with all these, strong, complicated women heroes in different books that we were reading. And then out of college, I moved to the city and moved back to Manhattan. And I got a job at the Food Network. And I was working at the Food Network I worked there for a very long time. I was on camera. And then realized I wasn't very good at that. So then I moved to be behind the camera and sort of, started producing and writing and just kind of becoming part of the Food Network and television world, and then moved on to work at different production companies. And so worked on like baby shows, like Baby Story and wedding shows and all types of kind of lifestyle. And then kind of worked at this production company, and that's where I met Emily. Mm-hmm. And and then we started working on a million different shows together. And we'd started developing shows, which was different than producing shows. So we had to come up with the ideas. We had to brainstorm. We had to travel all over the country together. Even when we first met, like the first assignment we had was we went to a jail in Pittsburgh, and we did a story. It was a pilot. I think it was for like Lifetime or something. And we had it was about the female wardens there, and they were amazing. These amazing characters. But we were, we
had just met
girls from New York, like in a jail.
Oh my
just
God.
met.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sharing a hotel room.
I'm like, what are they doing going to jail for the Food Network?
Oh no,
I feel like there would be better places.
No, this was for because we pitched to all different types of production, all different networks. So, but anyway,
oh my gosh,
so we became friends fast, and we realized we were kind of in the same stage of life when we met, where we had dated a million people that were the wrong guys, and then we had recently, I just married my husband, she had married her husband, and I think you might have been pregnant with your daughter.
I started that job, and like 4 months later, I found out I was pregnant. It was just like really bad timing.
And I was trying to get pregnant, and I was like, I can't believe she's pregnant, and then I got pregnant like a year later. So it all kind of worked out, and we just became like instant friends. We had so much in common. And I was thinking about it because we had spent so much time just growing up in New York that I was thinking about this today, Emily. Like, we were probably out at the same bars at the same time, but didn't know that, like we were probably like downtown at some bars together, or at Arlene's Grocery, or at the Met, or at museums together, but not knowing each other yet because we were there at the same time.
But we just always kept missing each other. Yeah, everything paralleled so much.
I mean, you might have seen me. I'm from New York.
Might have. I know. That's right. We could have.
You even hear those stories. Yeah, that you miss.
I'm older than you, I'm sure, but I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. You are. I think we're all the same age.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
I look much older than you, so I'm not going to make any sense. But I feel like I'm definitely older.
Makeup.
No.
But, I know, I think about that all the time. All the people who were like packed into like automatic slims the same night, and all that back in the day.
Oh my God,
like,
yes.
Yes.
who else was there that like fast forward, we're all like on Zooms or, where we
Very
have
professional
together,
now.
So
Yes.
Absolutely.
I see why people write those books about like their younger selves running into their current selves. You know how they're like, that's like whole like subgenre.
Oh yes.
Like,
Yep.
Yes.
not time travel, but I don't even know what you call it. It's not even sci-fi. Like, anyway, I get it because I'm so interested in like running into like, just if I could peer in and see who else was there.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I would see Emily. I know it. And maybe we would see you too.
Maybe that, it's totally possible.
I think it was just writing the book, I think, let us go back into those memories a bit. And I think for me, I moved around a lot growing up. So I was Minnesota, Florida, Alabama, everywhere. But I was born in New York. After college in Boston, I came back. And I wanted to get into documentaries. Mm-hmm. That was, I was going to change the world and do documentaries. And so I worked at A&E and History Channel for a long time, which was fantastic. But during the course of that is when reality TV really got into its own, and it's a different beast. So I was trying to find my place there and went to MTV for a while. And then I quit MTV, and it's like, I need to work at a production company where they're doing cool things, doing fun things. That's when I ended up at this production company with Audrey. And it was, we always say the best thing from that experience were the friends we made. We met everyone working at that company, all the people in our group were amazing. I mean, we're still this called? I don't know if we can say.
Oh, you can't say? Okay, don't worry about it.
No,
I don't care.
Sorry.
I'm not going to have heard of it. It doesn't matter. No,
you wouldn't have heard of it.
I wouldn't have heard of it.
It's a small production company. But the friendships we made, like there's like 5 women and 1 guy. The 6 of us. We go on trips together. Like we became tight. Yeah. When you go through, I always say, when it depends. Sometimes when you have a great production company or a great experience on a television show, sometimes you don't really stay in touch with people. It went well and you move on. But when you go through this like tough times, there were ups and downs. Some of it was great, but when it's like hard, you kind of really bond. And so all of us became really close, and we're still close, and we still hang out. And they're all amazing people with amazing careers. So it was the best part of it.
It really was. It was amazing. So and I think, then Audrey and I became friends, and I moved to Texas a couple years before the pandemic because my husband's job brought us down here. And it was just, we would all still Zoom, and I would still come up to New York all the time, and we were still trying to do TV, but I'd always loved writing. I'd gone to school for writing. I loved writing. So I was still always trying to make that work. And the pandemic shut down television. Like, even if we'd loved it and wanted to keep doing it, there was nothing to be done. You couldn't do anything. And I think that we just needed to be productive and needed kind of an outlet in this time where, I'm trying to remember how to do long division for my daughter. And she's like, I don't know. So it was just a great chance to be creative, really.
They've totally destroyed long division. I don't understand the new way.
I still do not understand.
I think our way is so much better. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't. She was explaining it to me the other day, and I was just nodding and hoping that she would buy it, because I have no idea.
I'm relieved they understand it, because
that's true.
Yes.
I'm like, well, you seem to have a grasp of this, so I'm going to just let you do your thing.
My son seems to get it.
How old are all your kids?
My daughter is 11, about to be 12, and my son's 9.
And I have 2 boys, and they are 8. Well, he's turning 8, and the older one is 10, turning 11. So I got a 1st grader and a 5th grader. So yeah, and your kids are around that age too, right?
I have an 8-year-old in 2nd grade boy, and 9-year-old, almost 10. Well, not almost. She's like 2/3 or something. Anyway, she's in 3rd grade, going on like 30. And then I have twins who are almost 16, but they're in 9th grade. Boy, girl.
Oh, wow. Oh, 9th grade. So high school.
I know. I'm in a different phase there. Yeah.
That's totally different. How nice for the little ones to see that for the older ones.
Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's nice. Okay, so the book. So you wrote the book together, and then how did it end up getting sold and coming out? And like, what was that journey like? Was it fun? Like, compared to TV, was it? I mean, it must have been so slow compared to TV.
It was. It's actually, TV is so slow. I mean, it is. Okay. During the process, I had a show at submission when we started this book, and by the time we sold really up until this last January, that show was still in like development. Like once a show's in production, it goes, but in development, it just takes forever. So this was this timeline, 2.5 years, really was on par for our experience.
Yeah.
But I think we had a friend who used to be in publishing, Audrey, and we sent it for her just as a beta reader, really.
Yeah.
And she was the one. Yeah.
It's a good friend of mine, Molly Lyons, and that I grew up with, my Jersey connections. And so we sent it as a beta reader, and she was like, you really should send it out to agents, and, here, this is how you should do it, and sort of explain to us how that world worked, which Emily knew more. I didn't really know as well. And we just started doing that. And we got an agent kind of quickly. And she's amazing. And was just Joelle. And
she love you. She's amazing.
She was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do things. And she started pitching around. And actually the process of pitching around our manuscript was very similar to pitching a television show. So we were like, we get this part. We know how to package this and make it look nice. And we know what words we're supposed to say and how to make this document look right. So that's what we had to make these decks, and sizzle reels for television. But we had the manuscript, I guess, which was the equivalent. And so we just started pitching that around, and it kind of, went from there. And then we got to where we are, to Gallery.
Yeah. Gallery. Molly Gregory at Gallery is our editor. And she also was such a godsend. You hear horror stories sometimes, like not necessarily editors, but that it's tough, the whole process, and you have to champion your book. And not just Molly, but everyone at Gallery. It's just this team that is so supportive, and maybe it's because they love the book the same way we do, but it's just been a lovely experience. We've been so lucky. We really
made it better.
Amazing.
Yeah. They made it way better.
Was this always your title?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think that's all we had.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that came out of that one text conversation. We're like, we should call it Emma of 83rd Street. Yeah.
How did you pick 83rd? Random. Okay.
I think it was just because the museum plays such a huge part in it.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, true.
So there was it's either 82nd, 83rd, or 84th. And so 83rd just sounded the best with her name. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Close to Lyle on East 88th Street. Lyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how did you decide whose name went first? Is it alphabetical?
Yes.
Yeah, alphabetical.
Just alphabetical.
No big
I think I don't even think we realized it.
Down drag outs.
No.
And somebody asked us. I think they asked us when we did it. We're like, alphabetical?
We're like, whatever you think. Yeah. We're like, no. But say what Emily was saying before, like, there's no ego. We're just like, what? We can't believe we got this far. Like,
we get our names on it? That's amazing.
We're going to put our picture on it? Great.
Cool. Great.
Ooh, we don't care. Whatever.
What are some creative things you're doing, like for marketing or events, or like when the book is coming out that you're excited about, or that maybe you weren't expecting to be doing, or any of that?
Your luncheon?
Yay!
I'm really excited about that. Picking out
I'm so
clothes.
excited.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad you'll be there. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think when we first started it, we met our publicist, Lucy. She was like, we're going to try to get you on some podcasts and do, PR that way and just get you out. So we were expecting that. And I think we're just getting a lot of people reaching out now who have read advanced copies, who are like, we'd like to talk to you, or doing their own reviews and pitching for it, which is hugely surreal.
Yeah.
That, you have people reading something that you wrote and that they love it and they want to help you put it out there.
Yeah.
But I think, we're going to some bookstores and doing podcasts and kind of trying to travel around. It helps that we live in 2 different locations, so we can divide and conquer a bit.
Yep.
But the more we can do things together, I think just an excuse to have to hang out
more fun.
It's good too.
And are you going to do anything on 83rd Street? Do you want me to go up there with the book? Maybe I'll go up there with the book today and take a picture.
Please.
I live a few blocks away, So,
yes.
Oh my God, you should. That would be amazing.
Take some shots. We'd love that. Whatever you'd like to do.
Should I wait for the final, or should I take the galley? I could wait for the final. You tell me.
No,
I'll throw it in my bag if I have to.
Yeah, let's do that one. yeah, it's fine. Whatever. If you're walking, do it every day.
Just do it. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Sure.
No, I pass 83rd Street all the time. It's so funny. So what are you working on now? And are you working on another book, or no? That was
we're brainstorming. Yes. I think we love this Jane Austen world. I think we let our imaginations run wild with it. And if you've read the book, I think you could see that a bit, that we kind of were like, not closing ourselves off to Emma. We were just thinking like her world is amazing, and it does all translate to modern day relationships and friendships really well. So I think we're playing around in that area. We'd love to stay in Jane Austen's world a little bit longer if she'll have us. But right now, nothing's set in stone. We're just enjoying it. We're trying to also hang on to what made Emma so special was that we were just doing it for each other. Mm-hmm. So I think we're enjoying the brainstorming and the fun bits, because revisions are not fun. It's a lot of work. So the brainstorming and the working it out and doing all the fun bits, we're holding on to that as much as we can right now.
That's right.
Someone just told me this yesterday, that they had been talking to somebody else who was like famous or something, or a famous writer who told this person, this is how great my memory is. I'm like, somebody said something about someone. But anyway, the point of it was that it never gets more fun than writing the thing. Like that's the best part of the whole process, is when you're actually doing the writing, and the rest is like totally different. So go back to like the fun of the writing. Like that's what it's all about.
Yes.
So I'll summarize that from God knows where and just say that to you.
Yes. That is true.
That person was very smart. Yes, it's very true.
That person was very smart. Yes.
You're right. And for us, it's reading each other's work. That's the fun part too. Like we're lucky that we get to do that. That I love reading whatever Emily writes and getting excited about it.
I know. It's great.
That's the best part of working together.
But now you have to find someplace that doesn't limit your comments.
Yes,
I know.
I know. It's the next
or
thing
we might
to
just keep
invent.
battling Google. I know.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's been lovely though. I do love the idea that there's other people, like now we have other people coming into it. Like, have you ever seen like Molly leaves us, our editor? And I was like, oh, we have more people coming in and like erasing our
There's other
our Google
colors.
Docs text. I know there's more colors involved.
Like, Emily, you're pink today. She's like, you're green.
We won't leave Google Docs. We'll just keep bringing people into it for us.
That's what we'll do.
Like, this is fine.
Interesting. Well, maybe that you have to bring that into your next book. This little.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That'd be
I'm
fun.
not going to say should, because now it's amazing. Do you have any advice for aspiring authors?
Oh gosh,
I think you go, Emily.
No, I always steal. Phoebe Waller-Bridge had great advice, so I'm going to do a Michael Scott and steal it and give it away. But it's find that one friend. Write for one friend. Find that one friend you like that you want to make laugh and cry, and just write for them, because I think that our experiences are more universal than we realize. And I think the idea of writing a book is so overwhelming. And if you just make it something small, like you're writing a story for a friend, and you just start with not even a chapter, but a page, a scene, and you just go from there and see where it leads you, is a much less cumbersome task. And it also makes it a lot more fun. So I think that was advice she said after the Golden Globes a few years ago. And it's really just always stuck with me. And it really translated to what we did. So that would be, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Emily Harding. That's
Michael Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
Any Office reference, I'll take.
Same advice, Audrey, or you have different advice?
Yeah, I know my same, yes. And also, don't get hung up on getting the perfect word as you're writing. Like, just keep going. So just leave a space and, just go back to it. I feel like my son and, his friends are all trying to write stuff. And I'm like, don't worry, just keep going. Get to the end and you can go back and fix it. So I feel like just go for it and don't get discouraged and keep trying and just go for it. I feel like that's what we did with this. Just try it and don't worry. It's just for you.
Yeah. Write like no one's looking.
Yes. It's like no one's watching. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. T-shirts. Here we go.
T-shirts. Yes. That's the next thing you should do.
So many ideas. Okay. Well, this was really fun. Thank you. I can't believe this is like part of my work. It's like, this is so fun.
That went so fast.
Anyway,
this was lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I'll be off to 83rd Street and I'll.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, Zibby.
Tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Zibby Owens and at Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. Also sign up for my newsletter at zibbyowens.com and sign up for my virtual book club and meet lots of authors on Zoom every other week. Thanks so much to Steve and Ryan at Texture Sound for the sound editing. And thank you to Morning Moon Productions for providing this fantastic intro and outro music.